In the book of Genesis, the first question God ever asks is Genesis 3:9, and God says, "Where are you?" God comes into the garden and cries out, "Where are you?" Now, God knows in his brain, if I could say that, God knows, because God's omniscient. God knows exactly where Adam is. This isn't hide and go seek. So he comes in, he's obviously not asking a question about the global positioning of Adam. So Adam's hidden so well this time, God's going, "Where are you? I can't find you." So we know God knows where he is in terms of his knowledge. So he's obviously asking another question. He says, "Oh, Adam," apparently that question was a cry out or a moan. It came out as like, "I knew this was going to come." Like some of our children, we know you're going to mess up because you're going to have to grow up, and we know it's going to mean you're going to mess up. And then when they mess up, we go, "Oh, I knew you're going to mess up, but oh, it hurts now that you've done exactly what I knew you would do," because it's going to happen. In spite of how we don't want our children to go through what we've gone through, they have to. They have to learn how to live. And life's happening to everybody. So God comes into the garden and says, "Oh, Adam, oh, where are you?" And the answer to Adam's, to the question to Adam was a question of the heart. God's heart was crying out to Adam's heart and asking if Adam would tell the truth about what was happening inside of him. Because that way God would know where Adam was. Even though he could see him, he didn't know where he was until Adam spoke out of who God really made him to be. And Adam said, "I was afraid." He told the truth. He told about what happened. The big mistake was, instead of having fear ahead of time and crying out before the universe crashed around us, he decided to withhold his fear and not speak up. Or do you remember that? So God says, "Where are you?" And Adam says, "I was afraid, so I hid." Now catch this. I was afraid, so I hid. Adam had an emotional experience called fear, and he used his brain to hide his heart. Instead of using his brain to do exactly what God made it to do, he did not use his brain to cry out. He used his brain to hide out. And there's the split. And it's been happening generation after generation after generation till we're sitting right here, and it's going to be happening ahead of us. That's the great tragedy of humanity. In so many ways, we use our brains to hide out instead of using our brains to cry out. Our expertise is in being cursed. Like the book of Jeremiah. Cursed is the person who depends upon their own strength, who trusts in their own flesh, whose heart has gone away from God, who's lost the language of how God made them. But God goes on to say in Jeremiah 7:8, says, "Blessed is the person." Now, blessed is an amazing word. Blessed is a process word. Means it's not just an event. Like you held out your hand, you got something. It's more like, it means really to go down on your knees and to be in need and to be raised up and given something you needed. The word blessed means you were without and then you got. And you knew your need and you knew your need fulfilled. You hear the gratitude? I don't have it. And now I got it. I was without it. And then it came. I couldn't make it happen. It was given to me. Blessed. Do you see that? And it says, blessed is the person who trusts in God, whose confidence is in the Lord. In other words, they were in need. They spoke out. They cried out. God was present with them and they received. Okay? And it says that person will be like a tree planted by the waters. Its roots going into the waters. And then it says, even when heat comes, it will not have the fears that make it desperate. It will still bring green leaves. Even when drought comes, it will not have worry because it will still bear fruit. In other words, you and I are created. You and I, human beings, you and I are created. This is the big statement. You and I are created. This is the big statement of how God made a spiritual root system. You and I are created as emotional and spiritual creatures, created to do one thing in this life. And the one thing that we're made to do is live fully. Everything that has life in it is seeking fulfillment. You're made for fulfillment. Grass is made for fulfillment. Pecan trees are made for fulfillment. Wolves are made for fulfillment. Slugs are made for fulfillment. Everything that has animated life in it, everything that carries DNA is created to fulfill itself. But now, this is going to sound silly, but a pecan tree wouldn't last long hanging out with us, going to supper, talking, fellowshipping, drinking, our water and eating spaghetti. It'll die. Okay? But if you decide that you want to live like a pecan tree, I take you outside, we dig a hole 3 feet deep, you tall man, we could dig a hole 3 feet deep, plant you up so you're solid, okay? So that, like this, and we put sunshine on you, we put dirt on you, we pour Miracle-Gro on you. What's going to happen after 5 days? You're going to eventually, because you don't have the right food. You don't have the food you need. Human beings are created by God, made to be nourished in a very specific way. The food that feeds a human being is relationship. The food of relationship is emotional and spiritual presence of other people and God. But we've got to be present to experience the presence of what we're looking for. In other words, to have our hearts fed, we've got to have a heart to be fed. We've got to be able to present the cup to be poured into, and others need to present the cups for us to pour into them. And God clearly says throughout the love letter of his word is that wherever your presence is, mine is there too. Wherever you're outpouring, I'm there near you to save you, to meet your needs and so on.